Welcome to Veil of Shadows. Book 1, The Amulet of Shadows, by Marie Mayer. Chapter 11, The Node That Held. The forest did not give warning this time. There was no staggered tremor, no hesitant testing. Elara was standing at the edge of the square when the air changed. It was subtle at first, a slight thinning of sound, like cotton pressed into the ears. The baker's door closed more softly than it should have. The fountain's water seemed to lose its echo. Then the oak at the center of the square shuddered. Not violently, deliberately. Elara's breath stopped. The amulet surged hot against her skin. Not strain, alarm. "It's close," she whispered. Reese, who had been beside her watching the market's uneasy rhythm, stiffened immediately. "Where?" She didn't answer, because she felt it. North, beyond the council hall, beyond the outer homes. Near the old burial rise where the land curved gently upward toward the hills. The pulse there was not tentative, it was stabilizing, and it was closer to completion than the grove had been. "It's holding," she said, dread flattening her voice. Reese didn't ask what she meant. They were already moving. The burial rise had not been used in generations. The oldest markers leaned into one another like tired shoulders, their names half swallowed by lichen. The ground there was shallow and stone-laced, roots weaving between graves in patient spirals. Elara felt the alignment before she saw it. The air thickened, not pulling, yet, but compressing. She slowed as they reached the crest, and then she saw it. Not carved into stump or soil, not etched into stone, it had formed beneath the grass itself. The blades lay flattened in a precise shape, pressed into the earth by invisible weight. A broken circle. Inside it, a crown, fully formed. Her stomach dropped. The inner points were complete, not half-shaped, not beginning, aligned. The earth beneath the crown darkened steadily, sinking inward as if gravity itself favored that point. "Elara?" Reese breathed. She did not answer. She stepped forward carefully. The amulet burned against her sternum, heat spreading through her ribs. The inward pull struck harder than before. Not searching, not probing. Established. The node had held long enough to stabilize itself. The grass at the edge of the mark grayed visibly as they watched, color draining in thin, creeping lines. A nearby sapling bowed slightly, leaves curling inward. Elara's pulse raced. This was the first success. Not total, but real. The lattice had completed one point, and it was drawing from the land around it. She dropped to her knees at the circle's edge. The pull intensified instantly, latching onto her awareness. This time it did not tempt. It claimed, as if she were late to her own throne. The shadow inside her flared reflexively, reaching toward the center. It would be easier now. The alignment was stable. She could step into it. She could seize the gathered threads and command them. The grove would stop bleeding. The pulses would quiet. Everything would bend toward her instead of toward a faceless system. Her breathing grew shallow. The crown did not feel chaotic. It felt ordered, certain. The amulet burned hotter. Not in anger, in warning. She forced her gaze upward. The burial markers around the rise stood crooked and patient, bearing names that had endured longer than any living memory. This land had been held before, not ruled, held. She pressed her palms into the grass just outside the circle. The pull resisted, harder than before. The crown within the circle darkened further, soil compacting inward. "Elara," Reese said sharply. She shook her head once. "I can't break it like the others." The alignment was stable. Disrupting it directly would require force, and force would feed it. She felt that clearly now. The crown was strongest when opposed by domination. It fractured under dispersion. Her breathing steadied slightly. She shifted her focus, not to the center, but to the edges. The grass beyond the circle, the roots beneath the shallow soil, the surrounding ground that had not yet surrendered. The amulet's heat changed. Less compression, more expansion. She let its warmth flow outward through her hands, not attacking the crown, but strengthening what lay beyond it. The soil around the circle loosened faintly. The gray creeping line hesitated. The crown darkened further in response. The inward pull sharpened, concentrating at its center. It did not want the edges strengthened. It wanted imbalance. Elara widened her awareness further, not resisting the pull, not feeding it, letting it pass through without anchoring. Her shadow flickered, but did not extend. The sapling nearest the circle straightened slightly. The gray line stalled. The crown's inner points trembled, not cracking, but destabilizing. The lattice beneath the earth responded. A secondary pulse flared from the western ridge, faint but present. Compensation. The network was trying to support this node. Elara felt the strain instantly. The amulet burned nearly white-hot now. Her vision swam. Rhys moved closer, but did not touch her. "You're shaking." "I know." She did not dare withdraw. If she pulled back now, the alignment would lock fully. Instead, she leaned forward, pressing her forehead nearly to the ground. "Release," she whispered, not to the crown, but to the soil. The word was not command, it was invitation. The edges of the circle blurred faintly. The grass nearest her hands regained a thread of green. The inward pull faltered. For a moment, the crown held, balance between gathering and dispersing. Then, a crack, not visible, felt. The inner tension snapped subtly, as if a thread beneath the soil had frayed. The crown shape collapsed inward slightly, its points losing sharpness. The earth rose a fraction where it had sunk. The gray line retreated by inches. Elara gasped. The lattice pulse from the west withdrew abruptly, severing its support. The node had not been destroyed, but it had not fully locked. She sagged backward, hands trembling violently now. Rhys caught her shoulders before she hit the ground. "Easy," he murmured. The burial rise grew quiet again. The flattened grass remained marked in a broken circle, but the crown inside it was blurred, unstable, held in fracture. Elara forced her breathing to steady. "That one almost aligned," Rhys said quietly. "Yes." And the lattice tried to reinforce it. "Yes." The implication hung heavy. The network was not merely planting nodes, it was coordinating them. When one neared stability, others compensated. The crown did not require a person at its center to begin functioning. It required enough points to hold. Elara turned her head slowly toward the western hills. The deeper fragment there had withdrawn when this node faltered. Not defeated. Waiting. The amulet cooled gradually against her chest. But her limbs still shook. This had cost more. The network was learning, and it had nearly held. She looked back at the burial rise. The land here had carried generations quietly. It would not surrender easily. Not if she could help it. She pushed herself upright with effort. "We can't let any of them complete again," she said softly. Rhys nodded grimly. "It's no longer testing," he said. "No." She swallowed. "It's stabilizing." The lattice beneath the earth was no longer waking. It was remembering. And somewhere beyond the western ridge, in stone older than the town itself, something had felt this near alignment. Elara's hand closed over the amulet. The fracture held. But the network now knew it could complete a node, if only briefly. Thank you for listening. The story continues in the next chapter.